We've got some very major news to announce. Kasean Pryor signed. Welcome in, everybody, to the Starting 502 podcast. I'm your host, Roman Kelly. I don't have Jacob with me. I don't have Presley with me, but I do have the host of Wake Up 502 on Saturday mornings on Big X Sports Radio, man who got me started in all of this, Mr. Rashawn Myers. Thank you so much, Rashawn, for joining me. How are you doing?
Absolutely, man. I'm doing great, Roman. How are you?
I'm doing great. Obviously, because we've got some major news to announce here. We've got some very major news to announce. Kasean Pryor signed, committed. Rashawn, it feels amazing. It feels amazing. It feels long overdue, but at the same time, I'm not worried about that. I'm excited. This is exactly precisely what we needed. This is the final factor, the final step, I think the final puzzle piece in what is already a pretty great roster. But if there was anything it was lacking, Kasean Pryor, he fills in all those holes, Rashawn. What are your initial impact, what's your initial feeling, initial thoughts? How are you feeling about this?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about balance, right? Louisville has done a great job of filling in the positions in the backcourt. When you look at Mikael Brown Jr., you look at Adrian Woolley, Isaac McNeely, as well as Ryan Conwell. They've done a great job of getting a lot of bucket getters out on the perimeter and guys that can make things happen. But the one thing that I feel like they were needing was that explosive piece for the front court. I think that the front court has a lot of guys that can make plays for others or guys that can make plays if somebody sets them up. But the thing about Kasean Pryor is a guy who can make plays for others and as well as be a finisher. And the front court really didn't have that.
Yes, you're right.
So
a shot creator in the front court with some size who can bring bigs out from the paint to the perimeter.
That ball handling aspect, at 6'10", being able to be both the pick and roll setter as well as the pick and roll facilitator is a big part of what Kasean does that, honestly, there's not many guys in Division I basketball that can do that. I mean, his combination of size, skill, and ability to just be explosive with the ball in his hands as a 6'10", 240 pound forward is just something that you don't see. So the prospects of what Kasean can do now that he's back, he's going to be back fully healthy coming off of the knee injury, just gets me excited, Roman. I cannot wait to see this Louisville team hit the court. I wish they had another Bahamas trip.
Yeah, I really wish we did, especially after watching this roster stack up the way it has. And you're 100% right, Rashawn. I think you've hit it right on the nail. We know that Ali Khalifa is going to be a jump shooter. We know he's going to be able to stretch the floor as a facilitator, but he's not the same level of ball handler and slasher and shot creator for himself that Kasean Pryor is, right? There's still uncertainties on Sonny Frew. We know he's athletic. We know he's gotten a lot to his game, but we don't know how it's going to translate yet. We don't know what aspects of his game are going to translate the best, right? James Scott, we know what we need him to do this summer in the offseason and what we want to see him add to his game. Is he going to be able to add that to a level where we're going to be able to see it at the ACC level, right? In terms of his ability to create his own shot down in the post and things of that nature. And he's got the stride and the athleticism to where if he could get the ball handling right, he should be able to someone who could put the ball on the floor, and we haven't been able to see that. So Kasean Pryor fills in those holes. He's a two-way player. He's active hands, active feet. Yes, he's coming off of an injury, but I think with the coaching staff that we've got, the medical staff and the tools that we've got and the facilities that we've got, we're going to ensure that we do everything we can and we need to get Kasean Pryor in that knee right. And Rashawn, he's 6'10". He can shoot. He can dribble. He can make the right read, right? He can command a double team if he is on the block with someone who shouldn't be guarding him one-on-one. And that versatility at his position, at his size, and I say his position, he's almost positionless. That's what it is. That's that versatility. Being able to throw him out there with the some youth we're going to have lineups that are going to have Adrian Woolley and Mikael Brown and James Scott. That's three younger guys, right? And Kenai Rue still hoping we're going to be able to, get him back and things are going to be right with that. So this is just the key getting Kasean Pryor back, retaining that culture continuity. Someone who understands what's happening here, what it means to put that jersey on, what it means to play in the KFC Yum Center in front of these fans, getting as many players as you can who already have that understanding. And Pat Kelsey's early tenure here is critical, Rashawn. So I'm very, very excited to have Kasean Pryor back. I think he's going to mold right in perfectly with the guys that we've brought in and the guys that are also returning. And you know, I think that this was the top of the list. I think this is who if there was the type of player you were going to go after, it was a Kasean Pryor kind of a guy. So retaining someone who's already been in your system that fills the needs you had, critical, crucial. Yeah. Kudos to Pat Kelsey and the staff for getting this done.
And people have to understand, like, when I know that it was a very early sample size, and the fact that Kasean got injured so early on there,
that's exactly what I was about to ask.
Atlantis. But when he got hurt, I believe, in the KenPom value matrix, you know, that basically measures a guy's value to his team. I think Kasean had either the second or the third highest overall value in the nation when he got hurt. You're talking about a guy who was, you know, at least by the statistical metrics, one of the 2 or 3 best players in the country at the time that he got hurt. I mean, he's a guy who's, you know, not only dynamic offensively, but defensively, he does so many things. You talked about his ability to defend in the pick and roll. You know, he and Chucky Hepburn ran havoc. You know, in the defensive abilities that those guys were able to do, getting their hands on balls, getting steals, back taps. He's a little bit of a wild card in a Maverick when it comes defensively because he takes a lot of chances. And Coach Kelsey even said that, you know, he's a guy that I just have to kind of let Kasean be who Kasean is. You can't really just coach it. You just got to – he has a nose for it. He has an understanding for it, a high IQ. And I think what he's going to bring defensively is going to be just as important as what he brings offensively. And, you know, as well as along with Javon Hadley, gives a team that edge. He gives the team that guy that you're not going to mess with us. You know, he's going to get under the skin of opposing players.
Yes.
You know, he and Javon Hadley are going to be those 2 physical presence type guys that are always going to be willing to scrap, always willing to step into it. Louisville's going to be a team that's not to be played with.
Not playing around with us.
Yeah, at all. And I think that this team with so many young guys and so many new guys, they need that continuity.
100%.
You know, as much carryover as you can have from that successful first year to have that this second year. Kasean Pryor just checks every box. Like, this is an absolute home run. When you talk about getting Hadley and Pryor back, these are 2 guys that would have been 2 of the, you know, 10 to 15 best players in the portal had they went into the portal. So with Louisville bringing these guys back, that's like adding 2 more top 15 transfer portal ads to your roster for next year.
Yeah, if they were left in the portal right now, you'd like to think that they'd be top 5 or 10.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Oh, Javon Hadley, absolutely, as well as Pryor.
It's just critical bringing these kind of guys back. Obviously, we might not get him back straight away at the start of the season. I don't know what the knee recovery timeline looks like, but I know this Pat Kelsey staff's done well with getting guys back right after injuries. They've done well handling injuries. They haven't gotten guys back on the court too soon. So haven't seen a lot of re-aggravations. Obviously, Noah Waterman dealt with some things that are long-term anyway, but when you're dealing with a thumb injury on your shooting hand. So, but it's just good to get a player of his versatility, his size, his shooting ability, his ball handling, and his understanding of what is Louisville basketball, Pat Kelsey basketball, 25 strong. It's critical. I'm excited. I'm glad. I'm happy. Kudos to this coaching staff, and I'm glad they could get this done. Rashawn, we just had to get a live reaction out there because this is the kind of news that, you know, when you hear this kind of thing, when you know this is happening, when this is official, after you've been kind of unsure and waiting and hoping, had to get something out. Thank you so much for coming on and joining me. This has been a Starting 502 podcast. Jacob and Presley haven't been able to join, but that's all right. This is the kind of news that it goes out on the airwaves immediately.
Can't wait.
You can't wait. Thank you so much for Rashawn for joining us. That's going to wrap us up. I appreciate it.